Hello, friends. Welcome to the ATC Double Cut. I'm Micah Woods, and we are going to talk about some turf grass education here. I have two special guests. This is a really special ATC Double Cut. We have Sami Strutt, the Chief Operating Officer from BIGGA, and also Deb Burnett, the Learning and Development Executive for BIGGA. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. It's afternoon here in Thailand. And for anybody who doesn't know, BIGGA is the British and International Golf Greenkeepers Association. And this is, I've got my BIGGA tie on today, which BIGGA members, I think, will recognize that. Is this tie still given out to new members?
It is, yes. You're looking very smart this morning.
Thank you very much, Sami. So, Sami, you have been the Chief Operating Officer for a few years now?
Yeah, for about 2 years.
And prior to that, I remember you were involved with putting together the Continue to Learn program because I corresponded with you when I spoke in 2018.
That's right, yeah. So I've been with BIGGA nearly 31 years. And for the vast majority of that, I've worked within the education and training and learning and development team. And it was my responsibility for many years to put together the Continue to Learn education program that's held at BTME in January every year in Harrogate. It's now a bit of a beast of a program, but it started off very small. But we've always had been lucky enough to have some real heavy hitters come over and speak at the conference. And you were with us in 2018, which was fantastic. We rolled you out across the program and made you work hard for the time that you were there.
Yes, I remember that. I have fond memories of it. And in fact, with this being the ATC double cut, I usually give a double cut treatment to one of the blog posts. And I am going to mention that it's a blog post that I'll show in a little bit called My 4 Presentations at BTME, which is from 2018. But I was very curious to learn more about how the education program is put together. And so I contacted you and you said, actually, that's not really your role at the moment. You said it's Deb Burnett who does that. And so Deb, thanks for joining us on the show. So you're the Learning and Development Executive.
Yes.
And so now you're in charge of the entire education programmed through the year and at Continue to Learn. Is that right?
Pretty much, yes. It takes pretty much a year to put the program together. It's a rolling process that never really ends. So yes, I look after the program. I've taken it over from Sami. Very big shoes to fill, which everybody always reminds me, so no pressure. So yeah, it's great. Really enjoy doing it. I've worked in learning and development since I started at BIGGA nearly 10 years ago, and I've worked with Sami for that whole time. So we've been working together on the program for the last 10 years, but the last 2 years I've been looking after it. So it's good.
Well, very good. I am going to try to rearrange my screen and do that double cut treatment. Let's see. If we do like this and then do like this, I can bring up on the screen that post, the My 4 Presentations at BTME, and that shows a snowy picture from Harrogate in Yorkshire. And it is a wonderful, it's a resort town. It's a spa town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Harrogate is a spa town. It's famously known as being the town that Agatha Christie was found when she ran away, the crime writer, that she disappeared and was found at the Old Swan Hotel in Harrogate. But Harrogate has always been known for what they would say in the UK as taking the water. So Harrogate is on a lot of sulphur springs and natural springs. Harrogate Spring Water is an international brand that you may see when you're flying. It's often given out on some of the airlines, especially British Airlines. But it's a small town, but has a very large conference centre and supports a lot of restaurants, bars, and hotels in around the town. it's actually the Harrogate Convention Centre is actually right outside my window. I live right opposite the convention centre, so it's a little strange for 1 week in January when all I do is walk across the street to go to work. And you look out the window and you see hundreds of people that you know walking past the window. It's a very strange sensation for 1 week of the year.
Wow,
Um,
I did not know that. I did not know you lived in Harrogate.
Yes,
Wow.
well, I've lived in various different places, but I actually grew up in Harrogate, and I class this really as my hometown. So yes, we've my husband and I've had a property here for over 20 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
That
so
what
we
a
literally look out the window, and Harrogate Convention Centre is right there.
what what a great town to live in. I visited twice. I think I went to BTME in 2007, I believe. I think I went in 2007 for the first time, and then I was back in 2018, and I feel like I'm about due to go again. It's such a wonderful event. How often does it snow there in January during BTME? Is it common to have snow?
Pretty much. I think in all of the BTMEs I have worked, we have had at least one snowflake fall every year. Every
Ooh,
year.
ooh.
So, but it's that's what you can see on that picture that you've got there. Yeah, that's about average. We're having a cold snap at the moment. There's a bit of snow down in the southwest of the country at the moment, but we might get away with it this year. You never know.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of warming going on and not as much cold in certainly in the south of England as there used to be. But yeah, you get up into Yorkshire and it can still be cold. So I was reviewing what I did in 2018, and I actually gave workshops and presentations, 4 different ones. One was like a 6 hour seminar or workshop about the grammar of greenkeeping, and I covered some of the key chapters from that philosophy from a short book that I've written called The Short Grammar of Greenkeeping. And then I did one presentation in that big auditorium with a lot of people, and that was a different kind of event, and that was about green speed. And what that's like the conference, right? Because I was looking on the website, and there's a conference, there's classes, and there's seminars, and I want to
Yeah,
talk a little bit about how those are different.
yeah. Do you want to run through that, Deb?
Yes, certainly. So now we have the three main streams: conference, classes, and seminars. Classes are typically 3 to 6 hours long and focus on one subject. So they're usually held in the Queen's Suite, and they could be on anything from mental health through to agronomy. They've got lots of irrigation, lots of different topics. So those are generally held Sunday to Wednesday. We have the conference, which is now a 2 day conference, which is held on the Monday and the Tuesday, and sessions at the conference are typically 40 to 60 minutes long, and they tend to be on a certain topic. So we have a variety of different speakers coming in to do 2 different rooms, talking concurrently, and our delegates can choose which session they attend. And then we have the seminars, which are held by our exhibitors at the show, and those are 45 minutes long, and they're free to attend for anybody who's attending BTME. And those are on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, so those are on the show days. So Continue to Learn starts a couple of days before BTME. Continue to Learn's education. BTME is a trade show, and Continue to Learn on Sunday to Wednesday. BTME is Tuesday to Thursday. So Thursday is the only day we don't have any education on. We like to say provide something for everyone and a number of different price points. So your gateway to education really is the free seminars.
So the seminars are all free. You just have to register for them.
Don't even have to register. You just register for the show, turn up, and then look at the program. And if you see something you fancy, You go into the seminar theatre in Hall 4 and put some headphones on, and then you're off and away.
Okay, so you need the headphones because you're in a conference hall with a
Yes.
lot of excited people having conversations about buying new tractors and new T markers and the latest leather jacket control options and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we do have a wall up between the seminar theatre and the show floor, but there is a little bit, you can hear it a little bit. So we have everybody with headphones on, and then the speakers at the front have got the microphones, so everybody can hear everything.
So this, I guess this is probably the second largest turfgrass education conference in the world in terms of number of hours of education offered in one event.
Yes.
And so number one would be the GCSAA conference and show in the United States, and
Yeah.
then Continue to Learn would be the second.
Yes, that's correct.
And yeah, it seems like I don't know who would be third. I'm not sure anything that has. You've got classes going on at the same time that you have concurrent conference going on also. So people could choose from there. There's a lot of things that you could choose for any particular time during Continue to Learn.
There is, yes, and we try to make sure that we've got enough education on, so it doesn't matter what stage you are at in your career, there's still something for you to attend. So we have an event called the Young Greenkeepers Conference, which isn't just for young greenkeepers, it's for anybody who's new to the industry. So we recommend anybody who's been in the industry less than 2 years would be good to attend that. All the way through to what used to be classed as a turf managers conference, but is now the BIGGA conference. And there's something for everyone really. There's basic irrigation repairs, there's a grinding workshop at the Bernard Academy, which obviously we'll talk about shortly, I imagine. We cover everything. So there's mechanics, turf equipment technicians, course managers, deputies, apprentices. There's something for everyone.
Yes, I took a quick look at the program for this year, and I can see there's just a range of topics, and I wonder how you choose those topics. Is there a because I see I'm a member of BIGGA, and I received some emails through the year, either inviting me to submit a education proposal or a topic proposal that I would deliver. And then I also receive emails asking me to vote as a member on which topics or which types of things I'd be interested in learning. And can you tell me a little bit about how the program gets put together, just in terms of deciding what's going to be presented?
Yes, certainly. So the first stage in the process is what we call proposal to present. So an email goes out to all the speakers we have on our database. We also give out leaflets at BTME. We take them over to the GIS show and put them out on social media. So anybody who's speaking in the turf industry can submit a proposal to present, and they say whether they'd like to present a class, a seminar, a workshop, a conference session, how long the sessions would be, the title and a synopsis of and the learning outcomes. So once those are all in, I then create a survey which goes out to our members, because we are a member association, and it's important to us that the education programme contains topics that our members would like to see and would like to hear about and learn about. So the title of all the sessions is then submitted to our membership, who vote yes if they find that topic interesting. Once that's come back in, the process can only be described as witchcraft. It's a bit fiddly once the votes come back in, trying to figure out which ones are the most popular, because it's not just overall which ones are popular, it's also who they're suitable for, because like I said, we need to make sure there's something for everyone. So we don't want to just put on topics that will only suit course managers. So you've got to look at who the audience is for the topics as well. And then the topics and the sessions with the highest votes generally will get put on the programme. And then after quite a lot of toing and froing, our programme's produced, which we still have as a paper brochure because that's what our members want. And it also goes online on our website and on our BIGGA app, mobile phone app. So, it's
I
a long
saw
process, but it's good.
I saw that there's an app too, so that's useful when you go to these kind of conferences now. Is the Continue to Learn app together with BTME, so people can go, say, if I'm looking for the Bernhard stand or if I'm looking for a particular John Deere stand or something, I can find that.
Yeah, you can access everything on the app, and if you booked into any Continue to Learn sessions, it will actually schedule them into a little calendar for you, so you can see where you are, where you should be at what time.
Okay.
It's everything that you need from the BIGGA app.
I think one of the things to add, Micah, is we use a piece of online software to help with the scheduling of BTME, of Continue to Learn. As you've been hearing, there are a lot of different streams running at the same time. And at any one time, we can have probably between 15 and 20 events happening at the same time. So scheduling and making sure that we've got room availability, the speakers aren't being double booked, we've got staff, we've got all of the resources that we're required to run those workshops or to run the classes and the conference. We keep track of that in a piece of software called Lineup Ninja, which is an amazing piece of software created by a couple of guys in local to here in Leeds, actually. And it's basically, it's an online post-it sticky board. Is a good way to explain it, and you can move your post-its and you can color code them. So we have different colors for different streams of education, and you can put labels on it and to identify who it's for and what resources you require for it. It's really is a fantastic piece of software that we use. That is online, so we can all access it and look at it when we need to.
It's very valuable as well because it shows you if you've got any clashes. So you just get everything ready and you think, oh, that's a great program, and then you realise that you've got one speaker speaking in two locations at the same time at different topics. So you then got to sort of move everything about then. So it's Ninja's brilliant because it does actually tell you when you've got clashes, and as Sami says, it makes sure you've got all the room and resources and you've not to.
We use that as well for the proposal to present. So all of the proposals come into that, and then that then enables the system to send out automatic responses saying thank you very much for submitting, we'll be in touch. And then it allows you when if a certain proposal is selected, then that automatically populates into the live program, so to speak. So it's really, really brilliant piece of software that has been created, and it came out of an event organizer doing what we used to do, which was we used to have sheets of paper with post-it notes, literally sticking post-it notes on bits of paper representing rooms, which we still do. We still do that, but Lineup Ninja pulls it all together and then enables us to print out the schedules and to provide all of the information to our designer to get everything into the brochure. So it's used for multiple things.
Wow, that is good to know. I will have a look at that. I don't do anything that's large like that, but if I would in the future, it's good to know how that is done. Now, I wonder how many people typically come to Continue to Learn, how many people come to BTME, how many people do both, and how many people would just do only BTME or only continue to learn? How do you have a answer for that? And who should I ask that question to?
I
I
think
think I just Sammy.
yeah, I think we can kind of do maybe some general answers to that. So we generally have about 6,000 people through the exhibition doors. So that varies year on year. So we can go from anything from 5,000 to just over six. That come to the exhibition. Now, within Continue to Learn, we may have individual bookings or from around about 700, 700 people, but they will attend multiple events. So because they're attending multiple events, we will count them as bums on seats basically for each class. So we get over 3,000 bums on seats across the education piece, and that includes the free seminars, which, as Deb mentioned, are free to anybody visiting the trade show. Those seminars really are what we term as the gateway into education for a lot of people. They'll come to the show. They'll get the opportunity to come to the show when they are new or early on in their career as a greenkeeper, and they'll come to BTME, and they might pop into one or two of the seminars that they're interested in, and then they kind of start to get the taste for it. They'll attend regional events that we run throughout the year, and those, once they get the bug that greenkeeping is actually going to be my career, then education very quickly follows, and then they kind of gateway into this massive continuous learn education program, which they can then access and select from. It's highly sought after, some of the classes that we run. I think the first class was sold out within the first 2 weeks of the program going live. And I think within 3 or 4 weeks, we'd sold out 3 or 4 of the classes that we run. Our classes are small in comparison to what you might see at other trade shows. We have some classes that have only got 8 people in them, and that will be for a full day. So you're almost getting one-on-one training from these real professional expert trainers, and our class size goes up to, I think our biggest class is 50, but in that room you've got 2 or 3 trainers in that room, working with everybody to ensure that the education is really positive experience for them. They're getting something from it. You've experienced it, Micah, as a teacher. You know, we don't overfill the rooms because we want everybody to get a really good experience when they come. So I've kind of gone a bit slightly off subject there on people actually coming to the trade show. So you will get people that will only come to BTME. They won't do any education at all. They will just purely come and look at the exhibition halls and all of our fabulous exhibitors. And then you get those that come for education and the trade show. There are a small minority that will just come on Sunday and Monday and only do education, but the majority will stay to visit the trade show as well.
Yeah, I would think that would be a very small minority, because the trade show is so good. And even if, I remember when I was there in 2018, I think I was there for all of Continue to Learn and the first day and a half of the trade show or something. And I didn't get through all the trade show because you could if you put blinders on, if you refuse to talk to anybody, if you refuse to look at any of the exhibitors, you can walk through it. It's not like you're walking 20 miles or something. But what happens is you meet interesting people, you meet old friends, and there's a lot of innovation, new products and stuff. And so, for me, and I think for most people who attend, they tend to go through it very slowly. So it does take some time to do that. So it's a pity. Like if you would just completely skip that, I don't know why you would. Maybe because they have obligations that week.
I think so. A lot of the teams, the greenkeeping teams, because BTME is such a highlight in the greenkeeping calendar, that some teams try to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to attend. And some years that means that they only get to go to education because they have to go back to their club so that the other people can then travel and come to Harrogate to be able to have their Harrogate experience as well. So if they only have education one year, you can be rest assured that they're trying to get to the trade show the next year. So
Yeah, I I understand how that would go. I got another question, maybe for Deb, about the evaluations. So some of the topics you might do year after year, and some of them might, or a particular speaker might bomb, and you say, well, this wasn't so well received, whether it's the topic or the speaker just couldn't communicate well. So I know that there were evaluations when I was there. You must do evaluations through the app or something. Can you describe to me how do you do that kind of evaluation so that you can
Absolutely.
assess what just happened and how people receive the education?
Absolutely. I mean, the feedback is a massive part of it because we always are looking to improve. So somebody could say that was the best continue to learn I've ever been to, but we always look for that 1%, just for that bit extra that we can make it a little bit better each year. So we now use electronic feedback forms, and delegates are emailed a link to the feedback form, the evaluation, after they've completed the class or the conference or the seminar. And it's the same questions throughout, so we can compare like for like. And the delegates are asked a number of questions about how they rated the speaker, the topic, the venue, everything to do with that session, regardless of what type of session it is. And if they've got any other comments that they want to make or anything else they would like to see in the programme. And we go through those and read every single one every year. And if the speaker hasn't been very well received, or if the attendees we didn't have as big a take up for one class as we did for others, we would take all of it into account, as well as the data that comes back from the members' choice survey, which is what you fill in once the proposal to present's completed, and that all contributes to the programme for the next year, and make sure that we can improve year on year. So if somebody has a specific issue, then we would look to see if it was common again, with anybody else, and then we'd look to improve that. So, and it seems to work, which is
Does
good.
does Lineup Ninja help to do those reviews also?
No, we actually use Google Forms to do the feedback, and then we've got a great piece of software called Certify, which has been game changing for us really. So what happens is the delegate completes the feedback or the evaluation, and then they fill in their name and email address on the evaluation form. And once they've submitted it, they then get a certificate emailed to them, which has the name on it, the class or the session title, and their CPD code as well. So it kind of kills two birds with one stone. We get the evaluation, and then the member gets a digital certificate of attendance with their CPD code on, because everything's linked to CPD, continuing professional development, which is also very important to our members. So works very well.
And I have a question about the surveys, or the post seminar questions. If is there like a single question that you could just ask, and is there a particular question that, like, if there's one really important question to ask, is there like a critical one, like sometimes you hear like I don't know. People ask. Oh, I don't know. I'm just because I know you asked multiple, but is there one key one that would, if I was going to do this, what questions should I be looking to ask?
I think one of the ones that I find most valuable is, would you recommend this session to a colleague? Because if somebody says yes, then you think, oh, well, that's really good, they'd recommend it. Because as you know, you get a lot of feedback verbally and people talk about things. And if they attended it and tell their team, their greenkeeping team, oh my goodness, I saw a brilliant session from Micah Woods at BTME. If he's on next year, you must go. To me, that's quite a vital question. And if they say no, you think, why wouldn't they recommend it? So there are a lot of questions that are vital, but personally, I find that one the most informative. I don't know about you, Sammy. What do you think?
It's been a long time, been a few years since I've looked at the evaluation forms, I have to say. Looked at the questions anyway. We look at the results every year. I think it's probably around how valuable it was to them and whether they'll use it when they go back into the workplace. Because all of the learning we deliver is there to underpin their professional development. So knowing that that the learning that they have had is something that they can take back into the workplace and actually utilize I think is really valuable. A lot of the courses that we do are some of the ones that people don't naturally want to do because they are the development ones. It's around management skills and people skills, communications, presentation skills, all the things that as you move forward in your career, you begin to realize are utterly vital to your success. When you see people that have potentially been working within the industry for 10 years and they're still going and doing an agronomic course, and a lot of the time you kind of question, and why are you going to do that when actually what you're telling me is that you need to be able to present your case better to your committee. So actually doing a presentation skills or a report writing course would actually be of more value to you. But I think as humans, we very much go into our comfort zone, and that's what we see happen. So Jeanette, who works within our L&D team, who does all the sales, she's very, very good at talking to our members and saying to them, what is it that you're actually wanting to achieve? What are you wanting to do? How are you wanting to develop yourself? And she'll actually help them select some of the courses as well. And Deb and I do that as well if we get any calls from any of the members or from course managers that are trying to help put together development programs for the members of their team. We'll sit and have a chat with them and say, well, maybe they ought to be doing this, maybe they ought to be doing that. They'll get value from learning this skill, and that will help them in their next step in their career. So, we try to direct people away from their comfort zones, because you don't learn as much if you're in your comfort zone.
Yeah, we tend to find a lot of people want to attend what they want to attend, not what they need to attend, which is where the CPD records are absolutely vital, because they can look through it and look for gaps in the skills. So if, they've done an agronomic course every year, like Sammy was saying, and they're progressing into a course management role, they maybe need to be looking at the people management skills and your soft skills, for example, rather than going on another course about fertilizers or writing a golf course management plan. So it's you need to look at what you need, not what you want.
Yeah, I favor the grass and soil stuff myself, but yeah, I can understand if you're a greenkeeper or a course manager, you need a wide range of skills, and sometimes you can be really good at the grass part And it's nice to learn the latest updates about that because that's maybe what you're passionate about. But sometimes you have to do the hard grind and study about Excel sheets or data management or presentation skills. A lot of people, even people that I think they're very successful in the industry, they're very successful in their jobs, but when it comes to giving a presentation, they tell me they're like, "Oh, I'm so nervous. I don't know how to put the slides together." And it shows when people are good at that or when they haven't had so much practice. And it's not something that comes naturally, except to maybe a very few people, but to actually make slides that people want to look at and to stand in front of people and to talk about things, it's not a natural, it's normal for people to be nervous about it. And that's a skill that takes practice. And I'm sure if you take a 2-hour class or however long the classes are for that, and there's probably different options. But if you take that class, you're going to get a framework of here's the steps that you need to do, and here's what you do, and then the next time you do it, you'll be much, much better.
Yeah. I mean, presentation skills is a subject that is, nobody ever wants to do a presentation skills course because it's like, oh no, they're going to make me stand up in front of people. And the reality is that the further on in your career that you go, you're standing up in front of people more often. You're doing things like this. You're talking on webinars or podcasts, and it's all presentation skills is all at the heart of that. Being able to stand up in front of your team every morning to give the team briefing, that's presentation skills. All of these things, it's not just standing up on a big stage at Continue to Learn and talking to 150 people. You might be talking to your committee, and this is where it's really key, and you're trying to justify the requirement for new machinery for their golf course to make their golf course better than it can be. That is a presentation skills. That is a skill that as you move forward in your career, you need to have that skill if you are going to be successful. So, and I am sure that you could bring in 100 course managers and they would say, that's one of the key skills that I have had to learn. And I hate it, but I've had to learn it. And it's a key tool that I now have.
That's good. And I appreciate you sharing those two different answers about the feedback when we're assessing these. And that's very good. Like, was this useful for you? And you might actually get a different answer because you might not you might say this was very useful. This is something I can apply at my facility. If it's this is something I can take back with me. If it's presentation skills, but maybe if it wasn't fun, you might not recommend it to your colleagues. But it could be useful. So you could get some different answers. But I love the would you recommend it, because the critical answer there is no. And if you don't recommend it, then it's like, well, maybe if you get enough people saying, I don't recommend this, well, that's not the kind of topic or presenter or course that you want to be offering. So yeah, that's very good. Deb, I've got a question about CPD. That's continuing professional development. And are those CPD points? Do you have there's a master greenkeeper program. Is that part of the Master Greenkeeper program?
The CPD is a massive part of the Master Greenkeeper program, yeah. So anybody who is a BIGGA member, when you join up, you automatically get a CPD account created for you, which we encourage you to use from the beginning of your membership. Record everything that you do, and then it creates a lifetime transcript for you. So then when you're at a point in your career when you think, actually, I want to apply to be a Master Greenkeeper, I think I'm ready, you can then use your lifetime transcript as part of your application process, because you need 200 credits and you need 200 credits as a minimum to get through stage 1 of the Master Greenkeeper process. There are a number of other criteria that you need before you can progress to stage 2, such as time served and number of years in charge of your current facility as well. But the CPD aspect is the building block and the start of the master greenkeeper process as well. So yes, and if you don't want to be a master greenkeeper, that's absolutely fine as well. But it's still a very valuable tool and a very valuable record to have, especially for like continue to learn. So you can look at your skills gaps analysis, see what you've got missing. You can then also use your transcript. You can use it in job appraisals. You can use it for job interviews. You can show it to your course manager or your Greens committee and say, look, this is how committed I am to my job. I've done X, Y, and Z all in my own time to progress my learning, make sure that I'm keeping up with the industry and trends. So it's a vital part of everything we do as CPD.
We also have milestones as well, don't we, Deb? So why don't you talk about, people that have achieved milestones and the different stages that CPD can provide you with?
So when you first start out in the CPD program, you're classed as active. Then when you get 60 credits, you're at approved status, and then 180 credits is a milestone, which is a really good achievement. We have a lot of members who want to get their approved status. Once they get the CPD bug, they then kind of think, oh, I want a milestone as well. So people get very into it. We have one member in Scotland who I think has just achieved his 14th milestone.
What was that? It's 14th?
Yeah. So that's he's got over 2,500 CPD credits. He's like our biggest achiever because he's just got a really good job at one of the top courses in Scotland, because he's completely invested in his own development. So when you do get a milestone as well, you get a certificate presented to you at BTME, the biggest celebration on the Tuesday evening, and you get your name in the magazine. And it's just something that they can, people can do for themselves. It's not, it's not a competition. They're not trying to outdo the friend or the colleague. It's something that you do for yourself. And something you can achieve and get your milestones. And it's a really good achievement.
Wow. 14 milestones. That's a lot of CPD points. And speaking of CPD points, do you give CPD points for outside events such as the Sustainable Turfgrass Management in Asia Conference that the Thai Superintendents Association is putting on from March 4 to 6?
We do indeed. It's approximately 1 credit per hour of education. So any BIGGA members that attend the conference or education would need to add it into their CPD account and put the number of hours that they attended. So yes, anything educational to do with your turf, to do with the turf industry. Also networking, you can claim for reading industry magazines because that's keeping up with your skills. You can claim for listening to podcasts or watching webinars because again, it's all to do with learning and developing and making sure that your knowledge is up to date. So you can claim for virtually anything. You could even claim for coaching, say, a child's football team because it's not relevant to your specific job. But if you fill a personal learning statement and then reflect on what you're learning from it, there's a lot of transferable skills from things like that in coaching and leadership. You can pretty much claim for anything.
But it's the fact that you're thinking about how that's related to your education, and then that it's organized in that way. So if I listen to was that On the Horizon with Henry Bechelet and Glenn Kirby, I believe. If I listen to their podcast, can I get CPD points for that?
Yep, you can indeed. You get a credit per podcast, or if it's a very long podcast, you get 2 credits.
Well, I should get 2 credits for that because they're always talking about tea and what kind of tea they're having this month. So now, just one thing about the Thai conference. I've applied to the Australian Sports Turf Managers Association and got the program pre-approved for a fixed number of credits, and also to the GCSAA, and they've approved it for a fixed number of credits. Is this something that that would be useful for any BIGGA members that attend? Can we get something pre-approved, or is this just something that people would fill out after they've attended the conference?
No, you can get it pre-approved. If you drop me an email, myself or my college net, we can assess the program, create a pre-approved credit code and link, and we can send that over to you, which you can issue to delegates once they've attended.
Nice. I'm going to do that, so then Brilliant. I can do an update on our website and say that it's been pre-approved, because we had a group of turfgrass managers from I won't give too many details, but it's a different country, and they said, is this program accredited? And they want it to be accredited to be able to it's approved by some outside organizations, so that they can get I think their country's government actually gives some support for their travel and attendance, and so I think it would be useful if we can get as much official. It's not really an endorsement, but just saying this is an approved program for turfgrass education.
Absolutely.
Right. So thank you. You will be hearing from me shortly about this.
Excellent.
So just remind me, what are the dates of Continue to Learn and BTME this year? And then I'm going to ask Sami about the Bernhardt Academy.
So Continue to Learn runs from Sunday the 21st of January until Wednesday the 24th of January. And BTME, the trade show, runs Tuesday the 23rd of January to Thursday the 25th of January.
Okay.
And all of the opening times can be found on the BIGGA website.
Okay, and so that's Sunday the 21st until Wednesday
24th.
Okay, and then the Monday the 20th.
The show is Tuesday to Thursday.
Okay, and the website that people can go to get to get links to all of this is bigga.org.uk.
Yes, that's correct.
And then from there they can get links to BTME and to everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to be following from afar, but I have some friends that are going. I have a lot of friends who will be there, so I will hear some reports from them and see how it goes from afar. Maybe I'll be back in another year or two if I can get a program a proposal approved.
I will send you the link for proposal to present, and you're more than welcome to submit something.
Good. And anybody listening to this, if you see, the problem is when people are voting on it, they don't know who's delivering the talk, because you need to have a really good title. Because people are just voting on the titles of the talks, but they're not voting on the actual speakers. So
that's because it needs to be about the education, not a popularity contest for the speakers.
Well, I'm going to put my name in all the titles. Well, Sami, let's close by talking a little bit about your upcoming role with the Bernhardt Academy. I know that the Bernhardt Company has been so involved with education, but for me, as an American and then somebody who's been working in Asia, I see that as there's always the Bernhardt delegation that goes to the GCSAA conference. And so I know that Bernhardt is supporting a lot of education that way, but you're going to be the director of the Bernhardt Academy from a couple months from now, or from next month or something. And what is the Bernhardt Academy? What is that going to entail?
So, I'm going to, I start with them in April, and as the education director, specifically for the Academy. And the Academy was launched in 2019. I was actually asked to open the Academy, which was a great honor. And so my name is actually on one of the academies, which is quite exciting. But really the academy is there to enable people to develop to be the very best that they can be in their career. So the ambition is to be able to deliver education and training which will support the development of individuals to enhance their both their personal and professional lives. Stephen Bernhard, who is the owner of Bernhard and Company, is very passionate about ensuring that people have the skills that they require to be able to look after their family and have really good careers and both professional and personal lives. So it's something that is very close to the heart of Stephen Bernhard and to Bernhard and Company. And it's also something that's very close to my heart, having worked in learning and development and been encouraging people to develop themselves to enhance their careers. We've done it through with BIGGA. We've done it through a range of the different initiatives that we provide. And I'm taking over from Craig Haldane, who has spent the last year immersed in the Bernhard Academy and building the foundations for it after COVID kind of put everything onto a bit of a halt. So I'm going to be picking up the reins and developing on the foundations that Craig has built on management skills and technical skills. I also have a huge number of ideas of how to move the academy forward to be able to offer greenkeepers and sports turf professionals an array of development opportunities for themselves. It's all sitting in a notebook at the moment, and when I finish with BIGGA in mid-February, having a 6-week break before putting on my new jumper, as I see it. I'm going from a BIGGA jumper to a Bernhard's jumper, and but getting to stay within this brilliant industry that we all work in, and being able to spend that time thinking about how we can put together development programs and ways for the work that BIGGA are doing and Bernhard's can work together, so there's a synergy between the training that's available for people out there. So it's really exciting to be part of it. Bernhard's and BIGGA have always had a really strong relationship, and I think it's based on the mutual respect of what each individual entity is trying to do. BIGGA's trying to improve the life of greenkeepers, making the world a better place for greenkeepers, and Bernhard's are very much trying to do that as well. You know, they want everybody to be able to have to be able to present the very best product that they can present. And they are very focused on that and on their how they work with their customers to be part of their customers' journey and to help and support them throughout their career, regardless of the club that they're at or the stadium that they're at. You know, they work with the individuals to enhance their careers, and that's, I think, potentially sums up how much I know about the academy at the moment. Talk to me in another 6 months, and I'll be giving you a lot more information.
Yeah, I would like to, and I understand you're the chief operating officer of BIGGA right now, and that's a full-time job, obviously. Yeah. So you're not doing so much for the Bernhard Academy right now. But definitely the Bernhard delegation. Is it the Bernhard delegation or the BIGGA delegation?
It's the BIGGA delegation.
Oh, okay.
It's known as the BIGGA delegation. It's often called the Bernhard delegation because Bernhards have supported it from day one. It was my understanding, my recollection is it was actually a discussion between Stephen Bernhard and previous CEO of BIGGA that created this idea of bringing taking 10 up and coming or current course managers out to the US to the GCSA conference and trade show, and within that week, they don't only go to the conference and trade show, they visit facilities, they get behind the scenes at really big golf courses that, you know, a lot of people would never get the opportunity to go and visit. They spend time with the superintendents, they do course walks, they they might go and do a factory tour, a manufacturing plant. This year, they're actually going to the training ground of the Chicago Cubs down in Phoenix. So, you know, they get to experience things that they wouldn't necessarily be able to arrange them for themselves, and you know, potentially would never have the finances to be able to support themselves to go off and do to have an experience such as this. There's 10 delegates or in each delegation, so they are together for an entire week. They live together, they travel together, they do all their visits together, they do their education together, they spend time working on the BIGGA booth at the GCSAA show as well. So they're actually doing volunteering for BIGGA as well, and talking about their experience of being BIGGA members and what they get from it. And obviously they are representing both BIGGA and Bernhard's, and it's professional development and the networking opportunities that it brings. We have seen many of the delegation move into different roles, and they will attribute that to the confidence and the networking experiences that they got from being part of the delegation. It really is a phenomenal trip, and the investment but specifically from Bernhard's, not just financially, but the use of their contacts that they bring to the experience for the BIGGA members is just phenomenal. And I would say to anybody listening to this, if you ever get the opportunity to apply for the BIGGA delegation, you really should apply, because it really is the trip of a lifetime that you would really struggle to recreate as an individual.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. And of course, I've not been on that trip, but I've heard the feedback from people who say it's like the trip of a lifetime. And it seems like they make lifelong friends sometimes from getting a chance to do that together. You know, yeah. I know taking an international trip and doing that with people in the same field as you, and then going to visit people from another country who are doing that and getting that behind the scenes look, it's really something special. And if you look at the people who have been on there's a lot of big names, you know, who did that 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There's a lot of names that people will recognize. Yeah. So speaking of international, I'll kind of wrap up with a couple international related questions. First, about the Bernhard Academy. Bernhard is a English company based in Rugby, I think.
That's right.
But they sell all over the world. They have customers all over the world. So the Bernhard Academy must be something that will be global eventually.
Yes.
So offering some type of training or learning experience to support turfgrass managers in sport, in golf, all around the world.
Yeah.
And can you share any details, or is that just should we talk about this 6 months or 9 months from now?
Well, I think what I can say from my current knowledge is that there are academies in the UK, across the UK. There is one in the US, and there is one in Bangkok. And they the ambition is that there will be Bernhard Academies globally. So if you are looking for education relating to sports turf education, that hopefully the Bernhard Academy will be the first place that people will think of to go and to approach to see if we can help facilitate education.
Okay, great. Let's talk again after you've gotten into that role a bit more, and I want to ask more detailed questions about what type of education people can get and who can get it, and what languages it's offered in, and all of that kind of stuff. Now for the let's see, the international nature of Continue to Learn and BTME. I forgot to ask earlier about how many countries will be sending delegates or will have representatives there.
Oh, blimey. We've got quite a lot. So we get a lot from the USA, Canada, Sweden, France,
Switzerland,
Norway, Switzerland, Austria,
Slovenia,
Spain.
Yeah, we used to have people from Russia coming over. We don't now, but we used to do.
Africa.
Yeah, we have a tribal chief in Africa who's got a really good relationship with BIGGA, which is really cool. Just really all over the world. It's great.
So maybe, yeah, because so you'll get from most countries in Europe, and then from a lot of places. I remember when I was there were people from Ireland, from Spain, from Denmark, from the United States that I remember talking with. And in fact, so this is my final question. I remember I bumped into some people from America. I met them in a pub in Harrogate in the evening, and I wanted to ask you if somebody was coming, let's say somebody's coming from New York City or something, and it's their first time to BTME, which pub should they go to have a nice ale and also talk with or a lager and have a nice talk and some greenkeeping conversation with people.
Spoons, Weatherspoons is the main place that people go. I'm not entirely sure they serve nice ale.
But they serve ale.
Yeah, I don't know if it's nice, but you can actually see the floor or the walls of the bar in Weatherspoons and Harrogate during BTME. It's wall-to-wall greenkeepers talking about grass.
So is that Weatherspoons with an E?
Yeah, Weatherspoons. Its official name is the Winter Garden, but it's a chain of pubs in the UK called Weatherspoons, who are known as Spoons. And Spoons in Harrogate is the unofficial meeting place of greenkeepers outside the exhibition halls.
Okay, but there actually are a lot of pubs in the
huge number of pubs. Yes, Christie's is also a very popular one, very small pub near to the convention centre. Then there's, oh my goodness, so many to mention. There are a lot of bars in Harrogate. There's the Old Bell, which is very well known for its, if you're a real ale person, the Old Bell is a good spot. There's also Coldbath Brewery, which is right opposite the convention centre. There's a lot of microbreweries around here now. So you're not going to be short of somewhere to find a beer, a greenkeeper, and a meal outside of the exhibition halls. So Harrogate's a very small town. Everywhere is walking distance. When you arrive, you park your car and you won't see your car until you're leaving again. Because you will walk everywhere.
And I remember walking around town and being surprised at how many signs were up that the BTME this way. And just like the town turns into for those 5 days, it's really an event for greenkeepers. So it's just really special. Okay, Weatherspoons is the place to go.
If you
start there.
Greenkeeping. That's what makes me laugh. You go in there and you think, if you were a single woman and then you lived in Harrogate and you happened to walk into Wetherspoons the third week of January, you would walk in there and you'd go, oh my God, look at all these men. And then you would realize that they're all talking about grass and tractors.
Yeah.
And you'd go, oh, and you'd back out.
And they all go to work at 4:30 in the morning.
Yes.
and they won't go out beyond 7 or 8 p.m. at night.
And they're obsessed with weather apps.
Yeah. They have a whole sheet of weather apps on their phone screen.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is great. Thank you so much for that information. I am involved with putting the education program together for the Thai conference, and I like to. I speak at a lot of conferences, so I'm so interested to have that behind the scenes information from you about how you put together such a complicated, large, and superb education program as part of Continue to Learn and BTME. So thank you, Deb. Thank you, Sami. I really appreciate you joining me on the show today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Welcome.
And I will put the link to all of the relevant websites for BIGGA, for BTME, for Continue to Learn in the show notes and in the video description. So anybody who wants to see this, make sure that you check out the show notes and you'll find all of that. And for now, I will just sign off and say thanks everybody for listening, for watching. For ATC from Trong, Thailand, I'm Michael Woods. Bye-bye.